Hello my fellow oddities, welcome to a new video. Today I'm going to be watching and reviewing Mortal Kombat Battle of the Realms. Now obviously I made a video predicting my thoughts on what the movie was going to be like. Now, I did not have high hopes for the movie, but you never know, it could be one of the best movies ever made. I highly doubt that though. Alright, there's really not much else to get into, so let's watch the movie. Well, one thing actually. Remember, if you end up enjoying the video, then you should definitely give it a like as it'll help the channel grow and get more people to see this video. Also remember to subscribe and hit the bell for notifications so you can be notified every single time I make a new video. And finally, make sure to comment down below your thoughts on Mortal Kombat Battle of the Realms. Now without further ado, let's see if I was wrong about this movie or unfortunately right. I was wrong. But not in a good way. This movie was worse than I expected. Way worse. This movie is almost as bad as Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Yep, I said it. I said it. This movie was really, really bad. Now, it's bad for a completely different reason than Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Mortal Kombat Annihilation had bad visuals, bad dialogue, bad acting overall. This movie has none of that, alright? But what this movie does have is a whole lot of stuff with no development, okay? Originally, this was going to be a no spoilers review. But now, I need to go in detail why this movie is hot garbage. So if you don't want spoilers, go away now, because there's going to be a lot of spoilers. This movie takes from Mortal Kombat 2, obviously. This movie takes from Mortal Kombat 3. I guess that's okay too. Mortal Kombat 4, alright, you're pushing it a bit. Mortal Kombat Deception, wait, what's going on? Mortal Kombat X, whoa, this is getting... Mortal Kombat 11. This movie takes from Mortal Kombat 11, which came out over 25 years after Mortal Kombat 2. This is a Mortal Kombat 2 storyline. It takes from Mortal Kombat... How does that make any sense? You don't need to take that much stuff from all these later games. Just make a story about Mortal Kombat 2 because this movie is supposed to be Mortal Kombat 2. Oh my gosh, there's just so much more stuff in this movie than I could ever imagine. By the end, I felt like this was some sort of endgame level event. This is Mortal Kombat 2! I know I keep saying that a lot, but I need to preface this when I say it is Mortal Kombat 2. And they're doing some weird endgame finale level stuff here, okay? And then at the end, they obviously need to make way for another sequel for Mortal Kombat 3, so they act as if there wasn't just a huge frickin' world-ending frickin' realms getting destroyed. They act like none of that ever happened, and it was just, oh, we won the tournament. Shao Kahn can come back next time. And it's not like Liu Kang just turned into a dragon and defeated the one being inside Shinnok. This movie takes from Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Do you want to know why? At the end, Raiden dies. Okay, that doesn't mean it's Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Raiden can die in other things, but then Shinnok becomes a weird version of corrupted Shinnok that has the one being inside of him. So what does Liu Kang do? He turns into a dragon. But not like he summons the dragon with his fire abilities. No, he is the dragon. He transforms into a dragon. Just like Mortal Kombat Annihilation. This movie is Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Is Mortal Kombat 2 really that hard to adapt? I really hope there's not some sort of curse on Mortal Kombat 2 storylines, because if that's the case, then I am really worried for the sequel to the Mortal Kombat 2021 movie. God, please don't let that be bad. Alright, so what's some other things that I got right in my prediction video? The first thing that comes to my mind, Kung Lao dies again. What the fuck? Okay, I've calmed down. This is the third time that Kung Lao has died in a cinematic story. He died in Mortal Kombat 9. He died in Mortal Kombat 2021. And now he's died in this movie again. Oh, I'm trying really hard not to get really angry right now. How am I supposed to feel anything when Liu Kang's shouting, "No! Kung Lao! My brother, you're dying!" How am I supposed to feel anything when they didn't share a single line of dialogue? They never even share Liu Kang's personal connection to Kung Lao. They don't say, oh, they were best friends, or oh, they were cousins. They don't do any of that. So, how am I supposed to feel anything? Speaking of characters dying or being defeated with zero development, Baraka! How are the writers going to explain this one? That was clearly Baraka. They said his name. So what excuse are they going to make, huh? I can't wait to hear it. I don't think Baraka gets a single line in the movie. Actually, that's a fun game we should play. How many lines does this character have? Baraka, 0. Li Mei, 0. Reiko, 1. Jade, 1. Kintaro, like 1 or 2. And Devora, 1. Although, I am really glad they finally killed off Devora. I thought the villain problem in other Mortal Kombat movies were bad. This has the worst villain problem of them all. They have the most villains that do nothing. And not only that, but a lot of the villains are straight up out of character too. I don't know that much about Li Mei, but I'm pretty sure she's not just some evil girl who wants to kill all the Earthroamers and wants to win for Outworld. Same thing with Jade. Fortunately for me, I actually know a lot about Jade. And one of her lines in the movie, her only line in the movie in fact, is her trying to say, oh, let's kill the Earthroamers, as if that's in character at all for Jade. I already explained in my last video why Reiko, the general, getting taught battle strategies by Kitana was a problem. Of course, they didn't cut that scene out, so it's still a problem. Kintaro is once again wasted, and he's just some big monster that goes, rah, ha ha ha, pathetic Earthroamers, thinking they can surrender, let's kill them. Yeah, just generic monster stuff, just like Goro in the last movie. Oh, and that's not even all the villains. Sector, Cyrax, and Smoke are in it. Smoke's a villain for most of it, but he does have like one scene where he's a good guy. Sector and Cyrax get like 1 or 2 lines combined. I'm not really sure though. I mean, I can't really tell who's even speaking because they don't really give them distinctive voices. They are just, I am robot. I am going to kill Sub-Zero. Shinnok is in it. He's incredibly wasted and should have had a movie to himself, but of course we can't have nice things nowadays. Shao Kahn and Shang Tsung are also in the movie. Not really much to say about Shang Tsung. He's basically the same as he was in the last movie. But Shao Kahn has about as much character as he does in Mortal Kombat Annihilation. So, that's fun. Oh, and if you thought it was just the villains that have development problems, look no further than Stryker. There is no reason for Stryker to be in this movie. He just shows up. Like, literally, he just shows up. A helicopter comes down with Jax in it, and Stryker is just there. It's not explained. Is he special forces? He seems to just be a regular cop, so I don't know why he's here. There's no other cops even fighting at the tournament or trying to fend off the Outworld forces. There's no reason for Stryker to be there. Like I said earlier, Kung Lao gets basically 0 development at all. Also, another thing about Kung Lao, his voice is the same voice as Liu Kang in MK11, which was incredibly distracting. The fights in the tournament are awful. Most of them are part of a montage of about 5 to 10 second fights. Of course, there's no brackets, so there's no such thing as a sub-boss. Kintaro gets killed by Jax. Literally just in the middle of a bunch of montage fights, Kintaro, the sub-boss of MK2, gets killed by Jax. Cool. The Shao Kahn fight against Liu Kang was also really lame. Basically, Shao Kahn's beating Liu Kang, and then Liu Kang has some sort of flashback or something, and then he just gets fire powers and kills. I don't even know what happened. Like, he just powered up through the power of Raiden's words echoing through his mind or something. I don't know. They barely explain anything in this movie, which is really distracting because as a Mortal Kombat fan, I'm like, yeah, I know what's happening. But then I'm thinking, well, what if I'm not a Mortal Kombat fan? How will I know anything that's going on? The movie literally just starts with Outworld going after Earthrealm, with no explanation on why. They just are. There's no explanation how Scorpion survived the first movie. He's just in the Netherrealm all of a sudden. Okay. Once again, like I said earlier, no explanation where Stryker comes from, no explanation who Kung Lao is. Jax's metal arms don't even have an explanation. His arms are never even acknowledged. No acknowledgement of where all these new people came from on the Outworld side. Shao Kahn barely has an explanation on who he is. And I understand that there was like a scene in the Scorpion's Revenge where they talk about the history of the tournament and all that. And they talk about Shao Kahn. But that's not really enough. If someone who knew nothing about Mortal Kombat watched this movie, they'd be like, who's Shao Kahn? What does he want? Who is he? They don't really even talk about how Shao Kahn is the ruler of Outworld. They talk about Edenia a lot, but they don't even explain what Edenia even is. Like, of course, I understand what Edenia is as a Mortal Kombat fan, but someone who knows nothing about Mortal Kombat is just going to be like, what the heck is an Edenia? And then you have to explain to them, and then they're like, well, why didn't the movie just explain that? And that's, of course, a valid criticism. There's also this really stupid moment when the Lin Kuei Grandmaster is explaining to Sub-Zero and Smoke that there's a single Shirai Ryu still left. And Sub-Zero's like, who is it? Who is it? And then the Grandmaster's like, it was Scorpion. And Sub-Zero acts all surprised. And I'm like, does Sub-Zero not know that Scorpion is Shirai Ryu? It's kind of weird. He knows who Scorpion is. He knows he killed his brother. But he doesn't know that he was a part of the Shirai. That's just weird. I need a moment to talk about the ending here, because the ending is just a cluster of a whole bunch of different Mortal Kombat games clamored into one. First of all, Kitana sorta becomes Kitana Khan. I mean, she betrays Shao Kahn, and then it's like, I am the queen of Outworld, I think she says. Either she said queen of Outworld or queen of Edenia. And so I think that means she's Kitana Khan, but I'm not sure because she didn't even kill Shao Kahn. So I kind of need an explanation on that. And then Raiden dies, so that's like Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Liu Kang fights Shao Kahn, of course Mortal Kombat 2. And then after he defeats Shao Kahn, Liu Kang goes to the Elder Gods and is like, hey, yeah, I won. And then the Elder Gods are like, Shinnok escaped and collected the Kami Dogus. So that's like Mortal Kombat 4 and Mortal Kombat Deception. And then they give Liu Kang God powers. So that's like Mortal Kombat 11. And then like the whole world and all the realms just like merge together. And I don't think there's really a Mortal Kombat game where at the end all the realms merge together. But I might be wrong on that. I'm just going to say that the background and stuff did remind me of Mortal Kombat vs. DC Universe. That's all I'm saying. No real similarities. And then Shinnok turns into Corrupted Shinnok, which is Mortal Kombat X. And then on the ground, there's like monsters attacking the city. And like all the Earthrealm fighters are like protecting like ordinary people. That's like Mortal Kombat 3. So for this ending, they literally just grabbed all the different parts of any Mortal Kombat game they could find, and we're just like, I'm using that, I'm using that, I'm using that. But that's not what I signed up for when I went to watch this movie. I went to watch this movie for Mortal Kombat 2. Not Mortal Kombat 11 mixed with Mortal Kombat X mixed with Mortal Kombat Deception. That's not what I asked for. And that's the overall problem with this movie. It's not what I asked for. This is Mortal Kombat 2. I don't want all this other stuff. I just want a simple Outworld tournament like how it is in the games. Anyways, that's pretty much it for this review. I guess I should say some stuff I liked about the movie. I I chuckled at a few Johnny Cage jokes, I guess. I chuckled at this part.
You talk too much.
But that's only because it was in a live action movie earlier this year, so I thought that was just kind of funny.
You talk too much.
I don't think it was intentional though, because it doesn't really seem like Ed Boon or the people involved with making this movie really care or like the new live action movie at all. I mean, the least I can say is that movie is way, way better than Battle of the Realms. And that's what you should take away from this. This movie was the second worst Mortal Kombat movie ever. This movie was almost as bad as Mortal Kombat Annihilation. And that's all I'll say. I'll see you next time, my fellow oddities.